With me today is Cathy Liu from Broadcom. Welcome here.
Thank you.
So tell me what you do at Broadcom.
I am a distinguished engineer in Broadcom, and I heads up the SerDes HiSpeed IO architecture and the modeling team within Broadcom. And before Broadcom, I was joined a startup company, design hard disk drive for read channel, and then it's the startup company acquired by RSI Logic, and then moved to the high-speed transceiver industry, design within the RSI Logic, and then later RSI Logic acquired by Avago.
Wow.
And then Avago acquired Broadcom. So in the last
so
20 years,
full circle.
Yes, a full circle. And I haven't changed my job, but my company name keeps changing last 20 years. This is the industry's norm right
So
now.
tell me more about HiSpeed IO, what you're doing there.
So with current 5G or the AI, put a lot of high requirement or demanding on the data center high-speed connectivities and then bandwidth requirement. So that means it's from chip to chip or from chassis to chassis, from a building to building, you need a very high speed connectivity. And then it's on each chip at I/O, and you need to transmit and receive the signal higher and higher speed. And then the channel is become noisy and longer, and you have to recover those transmitted data. And that is all as I/O designer need to do is transmit and recover the data with a higher and higher speed.
And at I/O at the chip level, can it keep up yet today with things like 5G and AI?
Yes, and I was in the high-speed I/O industry working on that for almost 20 years. And then from 2000, the I/O speed is 1 gigabit per second. And then now it's already 100 gigabit per second.
100
in 2000.
gigabits?
Yes, for the I/O speed and per lane. So it's already almost 18 years. You can double like 100 times. You can calculate is every 2 to 3 years you double the I/O speed. So we have to catch up this requirement.
So this is beyond the Intel projection
Yes.
of doubling speeds.
Yes. Yeah.
So where do you see it going over time?
It's become more and more challenge and poses the unique challenge like SI, in signal integrity or the device operating speed, and then also the power. We double the speed every 2 to 3 years, and then the performance need to keep up the same. For example, you have to get error-free transmissions over certain distance, like 1 meters cable, 2 meters cable, or chassis to chassis, from top of the chassis to the bottom of the chassis. The distance, we transmit the data have to be the same, but the speed is double. And then the power, and then the chip designer have to meet the power assumption. You cannot double the power to get 2x speed, right? You have to keep the same power, but double the speed. So that is very challenge. And they need a lot of innovations, technologies, and new technologies put into the generations and generations.
So is this specific to Broadcom? Like when you create something in Broadcom, is it shared with the industry, or do you use it just at Broadcom?
I think it's both. And then of course we have to make Broadcom as the leadership in the industry, and then have selling our product to many customers, and then maintain the leader, number one's position, but also as ecosystem. You can not only hide your technology within your company, you need others to work together with you. Like for example, the connector company component, and then test equipment, and also some our system equipment vendors, our customer, and then we have to work together to get the full system solution. We're only the chip designer, right? So, but overall the chassis and then the server and the data center, those things is come out with every segment of the industry putting together collaborations, make it work.
So talk more about DesignCon. This is not your first one. Mm-hmm. How many have you been to?
I cannot count. I think it's my first year to attend DesignCon is 2003 or 2. And then I was a entry-level engineer. When I was first attended DesignCon, this could be 15 or 16 years ago, right? I was admired the great hitters on the stage. And then I was thinking, I want to be one of them, knowledgeable and experienced engineer. And if that's DesignCon is a very good opportunities to provide young engineers like me by that time, and I have a good opportunities to attend the panels and paper sessions and the tutorials, and I have opportunity to learn. Now, as many years later, now I become active speaker. Yes, I'm on the stage, and I'm also happy to have opportunities to give back my knowledge and also help other younger engineer to grow.
So what are you expecting at this DesignCon?
I think this year's, I was expecting new technologies like DesignCon in the past more focused on the electrical, interface, and then maybe it's another other conference more focused on the optical. But now when the data center speed connectivity is getting faster, and then the bandwidth requirements are higher, we may have to consider hybrid or between the optical and electrical interface. And I think DesignCon is more and more getting SI and also PI, knowledge and expertise, but also I think is need to talk about the co-packaging technologies, something like the optical and the electrical working together. So, and also it's like speed is already industry talk about what after 100 gigabit per second. Next one is 200 gigabit per second. I think this year I expect DesignCon may have some good demo to show the solutions for 200 gigabit per second.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the show, and thank you so much for coming.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate it.